Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurumritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Namah Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatharine. Hare Krishna. So I welcome you all in this Sunday weekly Bhagavad Gita class. And we are reading a very, very important chapter. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14. 3 modes of material nature. And Krishna is saying that once you understand this chapter, this knowledge which Krishna is giving, you will become liberated. Liberated to this material world, liberated to all the problems of this material world. So, initially, we could understand that how this material nature and the 3 modes of material nature, mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance, influencing our life. Different aspect of our life is being influenced by these 3 modes of material nature. And these 3 modes, like it's a combination. We all have these 3 modes. Just like there are 3 prime colors, like red, green, blue, red, yellow, blue. Red, blue, and yellow. These 3 colors are there, and with the combination and with the permutation and combination of these 3 colors, we can make thousands of colors. Similarly, in this material world, the material nature, the 3 modes of material nature, mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance, there is a combination of these 3 modes, and with the combination, permutation, and combination of these 3 modes, we see innumerable or thousands or millions of consciousness. So all individuals, they are combination of these 3 modes. We all in this material world, so influenced. And every activity, our thought process, our activity, our behavior, our living standard, everything is under the influence of these 3 modes. And once we understand about these 3 modes, its symptoms or the effects, then we can adjust or we can develop some habit to progress in life. So that is what we are learning in this chapter. Because this understanding will help you to understand your nature, psychophysical nature. Once we understand our psychophysical nature, and based on that, we can make right decision. We can choose right work, right? So, and also, we are learning that how being in mode of goodness, if you want to become happy, then it is recommended over here that mode of goodness is required. So in any aspect of life, if it is in mode of goodness, means happiness is there. If it is in mode of passion, means misery is there, stress and anxiety is there. And mode of ignorance means just madness is there, illness, madness, laziness is there. So these are very, very important subject matter to understand. And Krishna, like 20th verse we were reading, that when the embodied being is able to transcend these 3 modes associated with the material body, he can become free from birth, death, old age and their distresses, and can enjoy nectar even in this life. It's not about, sometimes spirituality people think that it is just for next life. But spirituality is not just about next life. We can be happy in this life as well. Being in this material world, having this material body, but if we are transcendental, if we become transcendental to the 3 modes of material nature, means if we are situated, WhatsApp call even we cannot mute. So if we are transcendental on a spiritual platform, even being here in this material world, in this material body, we can be happy. And once we leave this body, we go home, back to Godhead. That is what. So after hearing this, now Arjuna is asking a question. Verse number 21 onwards we will read today. So he is asking a question. Kairlinge tringunan netan atito bhavati prabhu kim acharat katham chetam tringunan ativartate. What he is asking? Arjuna inquired, O my dear Lord, by which symptoms is one known? Who is transcendental to these three modes? Means, what are the symptoms of the person who is transcendental to these three modes? What is his behavior? And how does he transcend the modes of nature? These are very, very important questions Arjuna is asking. Now we know that once we become transcendental to these three modes, we become happy. We become free from birth, death, old age, disease, all sufferings. Now he's asking, no, okay, somebody who is transcendental, free from these three modes of material nature, what are the symptoms? And he's asking, what is his behavior? And also, how does he transcend the modes of nature? So like there was a similar question in chapter 2, 2.54. Even Arjuna asked the similar question. Isthit pragya. What are the qualities, symptoms, the qualities of a person who is transcendental? Isthita pragya. Similar question. Again he is asking, but there he didn't ask about how to become transcendental. He simply asked, what are the symptoms, the qualities of the person who is transcendental? Now here he is adding one more question, that is how to become transcendental. Now Lord Krishna is answering, he is saying that what are the qualities or symptoms of the person who is transcendental? The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O son of Pandu, he who does not hate illumination, attachment and delusion when they are present or long for them when they disappear, who is unwavering and undisturbed through all these reactions of the material qualities, remaining neutral and transcendental, knowing that the modes alone are active, who is situated in the self and regards alike happiness and distress, who looks upon a lump of earth, a stone, and a piece of gold with an equal eye. If you summarize this, like one who is equipoised in all situations, happiness, distress, and he is detached. Detached means, like this example is given, who looks upon a lump of earth, a stone, and a piece of gold with an equal eye, who is equal toward the desirable and the undesirable, who is steady, situated equally well in praise and blame, honor and dishonor, who treats alike both friends and enemy, and who has renounced all material activities. Such a person is said to have transcended the modes of nature. Is it easy to develop these qualities?
Difficult.
Being equipoised, all situations, happiness, distress, and enemy, friends, and seeing the lump of earth, gold. So, of course, these are not easy. These are not, these are the qualities. But with this process, which Krishna is going to explain, we can develop these qualities, and we can become transcendental. So steady means what is mentioned over here, that whatever situation, steady means dhira. Dhira means one who is fixed in his consciousness, one who is fixed about his goal. Like if we know that our goal is spiritual, and what may come, uh, whatever is the situation, we have to tolerate, we have to ignore external situations, but we have to continually progress on our journey towards the spiritual, towards Krishna consciousness. So it means sthita pragya or dhira, one who is very much fixed in his purpose. So these are the qualities Prabhupada has explained in purport in detail. One who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. So previous verse, he is speaking about the different qualities, and in this verse now Krishna is speaking about how to transcend. Let us read this one because the purport Prabhupada has given, first of all, understanding the qualities. That will be nice because one page we can read. Uh, Arjuna submitted three different questions and the Lord answers them one after another. In these verses, Krishna first indicates that a person transcendently situated has no envy and does not hanker for anything. When a living entity stays in this material world embodied by the material body, it is to be understood that he is under the control of one of the three modes of material nature. When he is actually out of the body, then he is out of the clutches of material modes of nature. But as long as he is not out of the material body, he should be neutral. So this is one point Prabhupada is saying. Because we are having this material body and suppose, I mean, definitely these things will influence us. But Prabhupada is saying at least what we should try to do, we should try to be neutral in all situation, happiness, distress, whatever is the situation. No, we should be neutral. But as long as he is not out of the, okay, he should be neutral. He should engage himself in devotional service of the Lord so that his identity with the material body will automatically be forgotten. Why we are practicing Krishna consciousness? Because if we are not practicing devotional service, Krishna consciousness, or understanding Bhagavad Gita or practicing Bhagavad Gita, we will live a life based on bodily concept of life. And then once somebody is living a life on bodily concept, definitely he will be influenced by the three modes of material nature. When we are engaged in Krishna consciousness, at least we will remember that I'm soul, I'm part and parcel of Krishna. I have nothing to do with this material world and the material influences. This is all just like a matrash prasastu kaunteya, seasonal changes. It is coming and going. So we will not be affected with that if we are seriously practicing Krishna consciousness. When one is conscious of the material body, he acts only for sense gratification. But when one transfers the consciousness to Krishna, sense gratification automatically stops. Yes? Because now devotees, they are working for Krishna. They don't have their own personal motives behind for sense gratification. And that's why they are not affected. They're working for Krishna. If they are able to do something for Krishna, that is fine. If they are not able to do something, it is Krishna's will. So they are happy in both situations. They are not attached to the result. They are just working for higher purpose. One does not need this material body and he does not need to accept the dictations of the material body. The qualities of material modes in the bodily will act, but as spirit soul, the self is aloof from such activities. How does he become aloof? He does not desire to enjoy the body, nor does he desire to get out of it. Very important point. Devotee is, I mean, it's not that if, okay, I'm not this body, I'm soul, let me finish this body and I'll become liberated. Not like that. I mean, this point is because devotees, their only purpose is to serve Krishna. And that's why means they are not affected by the external situations. They are always engaged in. They are not frustrated like sometimes we see materialistic people out of frustration, they commit suicide. But devotees, no. If sufferings are there, still they take it as mercy of Krishna. They take learning from there. They do not get frustrated. Better they try to improve themselves. Thus, transcendently situated, the devotee becomes automatically free. He did not try to become free from the influence of the modes of material nature. The next question concerns the dealings of transcendentally situated person. The materially situated person is affected by so-called honor and dishonor offered to the body, but the transcendently situated person is not affected by such false honor and dishonor. Is it clear? Like when we are on material platform, honor, dishonor, so much we get affected by that. Somebody is honoring, fine. Somebody is dishonoring, we get so much affected with those things. throughout life we remember and we develop some kind of enviousness or some kind of enmity. But devotees, they are not bothered about it because they are working for Krishna. They do not entangle in such things. He performs his duty in Krishna consciousness and does not mind whether a man honors or dishonors him. He accepts things that are favorable for his duty in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, he has no necessity of anything material, either a stone or gold. Very much detached. He takes everything as his dear. He takes everyone as his dear friend who helps him in his execution of Krishna consciousness, and he does not hate his so-called enemy. He is equally disposed and sees everything on an equal level because he knows perfectly well that he has nothing to do with material existence. Social and political issues do not affect him because he knows the situation of temporarily upheaval and disturbances. So this point, like political situations or whatever is happening in society. So here it is mentioned that devotees do not, no, all these issues, political issues do not affect him. Why? I mean, are devotees careless about all such things which is happening in society? Huh? Like now fight is going on, means all these political situations, issues. Being aware is fine, but like getting involved into it or uh, too much being attached with those things, disturbing our own consciousness, that is wrong. Why? Because devotees know that these are all temporary things. It will happen in this material world because material world is meant for that. This age of Kali Yuga, especially people will fight just for small things. So that is very natural. So devotees are detached with. I mean, they do not want such things, and definitely they are ready to help, but unnecessarily they are not attached with such things, right? Or being disturbed by this. He does not attempt anything for his own sake. He can attempt anything for Krishna, but for his personal self, he does not attempt anything. I mean, when it comes to anything, means not for sense gratification. Whatever is required, definitely we have to do that. Like to maintain this body, to maintain our life, we need to do something. So that is like the bare minimum, whatever is required. Unnecessarily not hankering for name, fame, position, the way material people they hanker after. By such behavior, one becomes actually transcendently situated. So not affected in any situation, transcendental. How to become transcendental? Krishna is giving solution. One who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances. So devotional service at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. So this point we had discussed even. I mean, how come devotional service or taking shelter of Krishna we become free from the three modes? How is it possible? How is it possible? Just imagine, just think of it. I mean, how? We want to become free from this. And Krishna is saying that somebody simply engaged in devotional service will be free. Now, whatever we have discussed, you can just, based on that, you can answer. How somebody will be free from?
Surrendering to him, there will be no desire, no
yes.
निष्काम भाव हो जाएगा.
Yes.
Because
yes, of
प्रज्ञ हो
course.
जाते हैं ना. They become स्थित प्रज्ञ.
Well, one point is like when you are serving Krishna, when you have devoted yourself, when you know that means you are your true identity and you are serving Krishna, you don't have any personal desire, like it is mentioned over here. You don't have any personal desire. That desire is for Krishna. So if you're not hankering for some material desire, then automatically you are free from such things, no? Because with desire, so many things develops. All these negative qualities. So we are being influenced with. What else? Means detachment develops.
Steadiness.
And we feel satisfied because our real satisfaction, our real need of the heart is love. And when you, devotional service means love. When you love God, automatically you feel satisfied. Because once you are satisfied, then automatically you will be not influenced by the things happening outside. Somebody is honoring you, dishonoring you, does not make any difference. Huh?
Outside world doesn't displease you.
Yes. I mean, we will not become ignorant of material world, or ignorant means careless about things, but at least we will not be attached and affected with those events happening. But out of compassion, devotees are always ready to help. That is the nature of devotees. They are always ready to help. But they are not disturbed with those things because they understand the truth of this life. They understand that this material world is meant, is designed like that. These things will happen. So they are not disturbed by those events. And but at the same time, they are ready to help in different ways. No, they are always ready. Now, in last shloka, what Krishna is saying, uh, one who is liberated, first of all, in this verse, what he's saying, material nature, and thus comes to the level of Brahman. One who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature, and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Level of Brahman means that is called self-realization. The person is situated on transcendental platform with this understanding that I am not this body, I am soul. This is called Brahman realization. And last verse, Krishna is saying, who is this Brahman? Brahmano hi pratishtaham amritasya avyasya cha shashvatasya cha dharmasya sukhaisya ekantisya cha. And I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is the constitutional position of the ultimate happiness. So this is the last verse. So after explaining about the three modes and about the process to become transcendental to these three modes, like devotional service, and he's saying that the person will be situated in Brahman. And what is Brahman? So in this purport, Prabhupada explaining Brahman, we know about like Brahma, Paramatma, and God. So there are three aspects of God. One is Brahman, one is Paramatma, and one is God Himself. And Krishna here very clearly he is saying that I am the source of Brahman. So this Brahma is nothing but the bodily effulgence of Krishna. So Prabhupada is explaining that Brahma is the first level of realization. And the second level of realization, second stage of realization is Paramatma realization. And the final realization means realization of God. One who has realization of God means he has complete understanding, complete knowledge. He knows about Paramatma, he knows about Brahma as well. But somebody just knowing Brahma may not know about Paramatma, may not know about Krishna. And the topmost realization is realization of God, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Because once we understand Krishna, once we understand our relationship and we start reciprocating in that devotional, mood or in that way, then automatically we become transcendental. And Prabhupada, somebody was speaking about a very simple example. He was giving that by taking shelter of Krishna, we become free from three modes. So giving a simple example to understand, like when you approach somebody having a dog, when you go to a new place, maybe you're new to the person, new to this family, and when you go there and the dog start barking upon you, or you become fearful of it, right? But the moment the master is there, if the master, you know the master, right? You know, and means you are well acquainted with that person, and immediately simply he calls out the name, or he just uh, uh, gives some kind of sign that no, he is my friend. The moment dog understand that no, he is the friend of my master, immediately you will see that behavior is changed. He will start moving the tail and licking you, or showing some kind of symptoms, and immediately means the moment dog comes to know that the person is friend of my master, immediately his behavior will change. Similarly, the Maya, the material energy. Who is material energy? Huh? Krishna is saying, this is my energy. Devi yesham gunamai mama maya duratya. This Maya Shakti is my external energy. And she is doing her service. Because anybody who is envious of Krishna is here in this material world. Because of our enviousness to Krishna, we forgot about Krishna. We've forgotten our master, and that's why we came to this material world. And the Maya Shakti, the material energy, what she is doing? She is controlling all these envious souls. Controlling with the three modes of material nature: mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. Due to these three modes, the living entity is going through the cycle of birth, death, old age, disease. Again and again, birth, death, old age, disease. And based on our desire, our consciousness, we receive different kinds of body. So if one wants to become free from the cycle of this birth, death, old age, disease, one has to transcend the three modes. And how we can transcend the three modes? Simply by taking shelter of the master. Once Maya sees that, okay, now he has become a devotee, or now when we have taken shelter of Krishna, what Krishna is saying? Mameva ye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. I mean, overcoming Maya is very, very difficult. It's impossible, Krishna is saying. Devi yesham gunamayi. Means this material energy, which is made up of three gunas, is very difficult to overcome. Krishna is saying it's my energy, external energy. And who can overcome? Mameva ye prapadyante. One who has taken my shelter will easily overcome. So this example is very easy to understand, right? So Maya Shakti is like, maybe we can compare to the dog, right? Very loyal dog to the master. She is serving. And somebody who is away from Krishna, then Maya will keep means with the trishul. Trishul is like the three modes. The person will keep on suffering. Mana shashtani indriyani prakriti sthani karshati. In this material world, the people who are away, who are not following the instructions or not abiding the rules and regulations, which is scriptural injunctions, they will keep on suffering with the help of mind and senses. But the moment we take shelter of Krishna, immediately we will be free from the clutches of Maya. So this is what in this chapter we are learning. Now we will do one exercise. You can maybe not pick a pen, but at least you can take out your mobile. I'll read few questions, and just you have to give out of 1 to 10, whichever number you feel, you can give one number. I'm going to do this first time. I just read this book and I could see some questions are there just to understand how much influence is there. You need not to speak, just note down.
How many questions are there?
Let me see. We'll just, because I'm doing first time. So we will just start. Let's see how it is helping, and so many things, activities we will plan in future so that practically we can start improving. It will help us. So this is about just what is the go through the following questions and tick the ones you would answer yes to. Okay, you have to just answer yes or no, not no. Then after that we will see. No, just you note down for your reference. So following questions and tick the ones you would answer yes to. So let's start. Question 1. I don't read spiritual books on a daily basis. Yes, no. Whatever is there, just mention that, Means you can mention one and then why or and, whatever is there. So I don't read spiritual books on a daily basis.
इसमें read और listen दोनों होना चाहिए.
Whatever you can say. Let's follow the question because I'm doing it for the first time.
Okay.
Let's see that what is happening. Second, I usually end each day with a huge list of things left to do. Yes, no. In my to-do list, there are so many things.
Didn't get the question.
I usually end each day with a huge list of things left to do. Means I had planned so many activities, But still, at the end of the day, I see so many activities are still left. Could not do that. Clear?
Yeah.
To-do list. Third, maybe it's based on corporate people as well. So, third, I feel uncomfortable and uneasy when I have time off and no pressing responsibilities. I feel uncomfortable and uneasy when I have time off and no pressing responsibilities.
Means you have free time.
Free time.
Yes.
And you feel uncomfortable at that time.
We love it.
Fourth, I regularly have a huge backlog of emails, people to contact, messages to answer. I mean, these are all corporate people, they may have. Means so many activities to do still. I feel like all my energy is taken up by work and career, leaving little energy for anything else. Maybe for you, like household activities throughout the day, just busy, busy. No time for self. Uh, I feel my spiritual practices are mechanical. I feel my spiritual practices are mechanical. Next.
Prabhuji,
Uh,
question like this can be yes and no.
yes, no, yes, of course, that is what we are
Means
doing.
sometimes it is you feel it is mechanical, and sometimes you feel
Also, you can mention that. Yes, no, sometimes. You can, yes, no. I consciously avoid spending time with others because I have too many things to do. 8. I rarely reflect, introspect, scrutinize my life direction. I rarely reflect, introspect, scrutinize my life directions. Do we give time? Means reflection, introspection. 9th, I rarely do charity work or activities which are for the benefit of people I don't know. Just mention that because at the end we are calculating.
My phone is dead.
Okay. So this is a self evaluation. Okay. I find it hard to sleep or don't get enough sleep.
No, I get sleep.
11th, I have lost a friendship over anger or failing to respect the other person. 12th, I rarely think about spirituality or question things around me from a spiritual point of view.
Can you repeat?
I rarely think about spirituality or question things around me from a spiritual point of view. Yeah, clear?
कितने हैं प्रभु?
So many. I mean, still have another. Because total 20 questions are there. When friends ring me, I rarely have the time to have a friendly chat with them. It's all about time, huh? I feel like I complain and find faults more than being grateful and positive. I feel like I complain and find faults more than being grateful and positive. I have health issues which are related to stress, anxiety, or irregular habits. I have not taken a holiday in a year.
No, I have taken it.
My partner or children sometimes complain that I don't have enough quality time for them. I don't have time to spend on self development, exploring things I am interested in.
Sometimes.
19th, if an emergency comes up in my life, I find it very difficult to adjust.
Can you repeat this?
If an emergency comes up in my life, I find it very difficult to adjust. 20th, most of my interactions with people are just about getting things done.
It's no to all the questions.
Yeah, even me also.
Huh?
Maximally.
Now evaluation, what is that?
Yes.
Count up how many of the statements were true for you. Here is the analysis. So you can count down how many yes, how many no's are there. So if it is between 0 to 7, great. Keep going.
0 to 7, yes.
Yeah.
Matlab,
How many yes and no's are there?
हाँ.
So yeah, if it is yes, how many true? True means yes.
Yes.
So if between 0 to 7, great. Things are good. Go on. And 8 to 14, life balance needs adjustment. Means some effort is required to balance the life.
Okay.
And 15 to 20, danger. Urgent attention needed.
What is this book?
Huh? And this is wonderful book. Even we will start reading this also. This is Gita 3. Gita 3.
Oh,
And
the ISKCON book?
His Holiness S.B. Keshav Shwai Maharaj, he did his management from
He's from London.
UCL, London.
Yeah,
And
California.
based on his experience, he has simplified this book. What Bhagavad Gita we are reading more spiritual aspect, philosophical aspect. And he has given, why this name is Gita 3? Because all 18 chapters has been presented 3 times in this book with different perspective. So this will help us.
So there is a Gita 2 and Gita 1?
No, nothing. That's why everybody is, sometimes when people see this title Gita 3, they ask, where is Gita 1 and Gita 2? Everybody asks about. But there is no 1 and 2. Gita 3 means he has given the concept in like 3 times it is given over in different, like one is perception, what we are understanding from Bhagavad Gita, the concepts we are learning from Bhagavad Gita, that is what mentioned over here. We should understand the concept. And then we should understand how to practice. That how to is very, very important, because just learning the concept, getting the knowledge is not enough. To how to practice those concepts in life, that is important. And also understanding what are those hurdles, obstacles, why we are not able to do that. So many excuses. So in third section, he is giving all those different excuses we come up with for not practicing the spirituality. No time, this, that. So many reasons are there. And he is giving answer from Bhagavad Gita, what Krishna is saying. If you have this excuse, what is the answer for that Krishna is saying? So beautiful book. We will read this. It's a small book, and this will give us so many practical aspects. Everything is from Prabhupada book only. The only thing is, because somebody who is going deeper into it, they do lots of churning, lots of deeper level of study.
He's a sannyasi.
He's a sannyasi.
Yeah.
So not only just from books, but from personal experiences what we are learning. So even I thought next session which I was planning to develop one course for 18 sessions of Bhagavad Gita will be based on this. Means this is coming from Prabhupada books only, but the only difference is like here, along with life lessons, we are discussing lots of spiritual philosophical concepts. That is the part, and that is the foundation. Without understanding concept, without understanding why factor, we will not move forward. But to make it more easy and practice it in our life, this book will help us a lot. Different qualities we are learning here, like detachment, or being tolerant, being humble, being grateful. All these are divine qualities. No, these are all qualities in mode of goodness. When we develop these qualities, then automatically we will become always happy. And in about this chapter only, in the last section, what he is, let me see. So it is all about, he is talking about habit, because this chapter is about, no, sorry, that's a different one.
That is his personal
Like
ideas.
in,
That is his personal ideas. The writers.
yeah, coming from, it's a different presentation, which is easier to understand, especially for like corporate people, it's easier to understand, right? So similarly, he has given one page like Sattva life. Sattva life is like life in mode of goodness. So like we know that all different aspects of our life is affected by these 3 modes. So he has given a table, like food. Krishna, he will explain about it. Like mode of goodness. Food in mode of goodness gives us strength, health, happiness, and satisfaction. Similarly, food in mode of passion, too bitter, pungent, hot, dry, causes disease. This is what mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Food in mode of ignorance, tasteless, decomposed, and putrid. Untouchables like meat, egg, fish, all these are in mode of ignorance. Similarly, time of the day. Time is also divided into three modes. 12 a.m. to 8 a.m. That is mode of goodness. 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. That is mode of passion. And 4 p.m. till 12 a.m. That is mode of ignorance. So other aspects are there like sleeping, parenting, driving. All these things comes under three modes. Even driving is, you can see. Now you have to check how it is. Driving in mode of goodness, driving in mode of passion, driving in mode of ignorance. Huh? Discussion, whatever discussion we are doing, that is also influence. House environment. Can you judge based on whatever knowledge we have received whether the house environment is in mode of goodness or mode of passion or mode of ignorance? So we have to do some kind of thought churning. Then only we will be able to understand these concepts, and based on that, as much we try to be in mode of goodness, our life will be smooth, happy, full of clarities. Similarly, spiritual practices, even spiritual practices are also in mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. Pure devotion is transcendental, but spiritual practices, when it comes, can you give me any example? Spiritual practices in mode of passion. Spiritual practices in mode of passion. Have you seen people just cutting their bodies? Or cutting bodies means
Lashes there.
I mean hitting, punishing themselves.
These terrorists, these Muslims, they think
Yeah.
all these terrorist activities
Walk
are
on
Different
the fire
activities.
also sometimes.
Walk on the fire, so many things. It's in mode of passion.
And sometimes I would say fasting can also be, if you're just
If it
fasting,
is,
people.
if it is,
More than 40
point
days.
is not duration wise, because even if you see devotees, they are fasting, observing fast. Following rules and regulations or this kind of austerity, even you see devotees when they are doing Govardhan Parikrama, or you see many devotees, they are even doing Parikrama.
लेट के
वो लेट कर परिक्रमा कर रहे हैं. What is this? Actually, it's not, the activity is one thing. Of course, activities, without understanding the real purpose. If you're doing just fasting, but you do not know why you are doing that fasting. If it is personally motivated, yeah, I'll say for some gain, for some personal sense gratification. Sometimes people do fasting for that. So that attitude or that why defines whether it is in mode of passion or spirituality. Like I asked about, when Arjuna was fighting, he was killing people. Was it in mode of passion,
No, goodness.
ignorance, goodness? What do you say?
Goodness.
No. Killing, fighting, is it in mode of goodness?
He was doing it for Krishna.
Then it is not goodness.
It's transcendent.
Then it is transcendental.
Dharma.
We have to understand the difference between. Sometimes people may ask, even we discuss a lot about it. Arjuna was fighting for Krishna. So anything, if we are doing for pleasure of Krishna, that is not into these three modes. That is transcendental. Externally, it may look like somebody is in mode of passion. Even devotees are working so hard. But they are not working for their selfish motives. They are working for Krishna, and that's why it is transcendental.
So they say for Ram, why did he let Sita go? Was he concerned about the kingdom? He could have denounced both. But in the bigger picture, Ram sacrificed for his dharma.
Yes. He is a Maryada Purushottam. He is setting example.
So कि my duty or my dharma of being a king and taking care of the praja is more important than my personal
Yes.
this thing.
Yeah. That's why when we externally understanding all these things very difficult. So we need to take the help of spiritual people who can make us understand the deeper meaning of that. Similarly, this how to section, no, that's a different. Yes, he is giving another exercise. How much time do we have? just will conclude with this. For an endeavoring spiritualist, four key areas of life are highlighted as being of paramount importance. Mark yourself out of 10 on each of these areas and identify one thing you can do to improve that score. So these are four things, very, very important for anybody who is in practicing spirituality or want to grow. Number one is sleep. Resting the body at a regulated time every day. So means we have to mark one out of 10 how much score is there. So yeah, we should have a regulated time. Means whatever timing means sleeping and waking up time, that should be early to bed, early to rise. 6 to 8 hours for sleep. Adjust according to health age. Huh? So these are the general principles. Age, health. These are the exceptional cases we can manage accordingly. Sleeping on the right or left side, avoiding the stomach. This is also maybe sleeping pattern, no? Left or right
No,
side.
it's very
Huh?
Ayurvedic. When we
Ayurvedic.
sleep on the left side,
Hmm.
our stomach and the alimentary canal, it aligns in the stomach, so
Yes.
digestion happens well.
That
It is a better,
You should
right?
sleep on left.
left or right,
Because
but not a
Left
stomach
is
side.
preferred. If you need to take, it should be right,
Okay.
but never
कभी
on
left होता है
stomach.
कभी right.
हाँ,
That is okay,
left is
that is okay.
preferred. हो जाए कुछ भी.
because it doesn't give burden on the liver.
Avoiding the
Yes.
stomach means what? Like the
अगर
stomach
right
side
में
or
है,
straight, like
Right
somebody is
leg
lying down
is
straight.
our elementary canal goes like and then it stomach side
Okay.
होती है और उसके उधर liver भी होता है.
Okay.
तो pressure on that entire elementary is relieved when you are on your left.
Okay.
तो left is the best posture.
Left is the best
हाँ,
posture. That's
अगर
nice.
नहीं हुआ
It
तो
doesn't
right,
give burden.
लेकिन अगर
हाँ.
stomach पे है तो आप उस पे सारा
Liver पे burden नहीं होता है.
हाँ, the entire.
So second point is about diet. Regular meal times, avoiding anything just before sleep. Regular meal times. It should be also regulated. And anything just before sleep, avoid. Eat a balanced, fresh vegetarian diet, offering that food in a spiritual way. Like we take sattvic food, offering to Krishna. Opt for home cooked food which is prepared with care and attention. This is a very important point to live live in goodness. Because home cooked food, because we have discussed so much about somebody cooking, so much consciousness is there. It's not just food, but along with we are eating consciousness, we are accepting consciousness of the person. So incorporate fast days for giving the body a break, or means observing fast. That is also once in a while we should observe fast,
Ekadashi.
especially on Ekadashi. So physical, mental, spiritual, all benefits we are getting
Because
if you are
Ekadashi
observing.
fortnightly आता है ना.
So at least twice in a month, if we are observing fasting, then we can keep ourselves healthy. Third point is about cleanliness. In one's environment, house, office, car. So cleanliness is required. Okay. In one's relationship. So cleanliness in one's relationships. Avoiding gossip, envy, criticism, being positive and empowering. We should never, because most of the time when we come in along with friends or known people, then gossiping, unnecessarily talk or criticizing others, we should avoid that. This is not cleanliness, this is dirty. So we should avoid this. In physical habits, like bodily, clothes, daily routine, we should be clean enough in word of goodness. So in consciousness, avoiding mental contemplations that compromise purity. So when it comes to cleanliness at consciousness level, it's not just external cleanliness of body. We can take shower to clean our body, but what about consciousness? If consciousness is impure, something, some contemplations if doing, which is compromising purity, that is also wrong. So we should maintain. These are the few points which you mentioned. If something is happening, we can give a score according to that. Meditation, fourth point. Establish as a daily practice. Are we doing that? Establish as a daily practice, like we are doing chanting every day. This is meditation, mantra meditation. So on a daily basis, we should do that. Give your full focus and attention No multitasking. Even about food also. When we are taking food, now we are in practice of, like while taking food, we are engaged in so many other activities. But the power of focus, being in present, is very, very important to become productive. It is in mode of goodness. If we are eating food and doing so many things, that is in mode of passion.
Mm.
So anything you bring it into mode of goodness, you will become happy. That will become more productive. Yes. Performed early morning, sorry, meditation performed early morning in a fresh, quiet environment. So that is the best time. Yeah. Have a dedicated time in the year, perhaps a week or two, where you immerse yourself in a deeper way. It is like once in a year, at least once or twice, we should go out of our regular routine work. We should go to some spiritual place. We should spend some time in spirituality, introspection. I mean, uh, immersing within yourself, reflection. So this will help us to live a better way of life. Otherwise, mechanically everything in auto mode going on. We are not giving a pause to understand our life, ourselves, and what are the different steps we can take to improve.
So it's going to be passed.
That is
type of
over just passing time. So these are the different things. I mean, of course, we'll conclude this chapter with, so especially understanding the three modes, understanding our psychophysical nature, and whichever uh, quality lacking, we can develop that quality with practice. So we have to first understand self, identify what are those things or what are those improvement areas we can work upon, and gradually, slowly, we can start taking action upon it, and we will improve it. Anything you want to develop in your life, you want to, you know, uh, just start with small, and you will see over a period of time you will become expert of that. So many examples, so many stories. I remember one story. Somebody, he was a weightlifter. I don't know exactly. So every day he was in his village area, and he used to lift the cow, a small calf, baby calf, and just he used to lift every day without fail. He was doing the same job, uh, and over a period of time, now even after 4 years, now that calf had become a big bull. But he was very easily lifting that bull. It's the power of practice. Uh, Similarly, in our case, initially, when it comes to chanting, it's very difficult. We find it difficult. But if we deliberately, consciously start taking steps, one step, okay, every day, one round of chanting, 10 minutes, and gradually it becomes easy. People chanting 16 rounds, it's easy for them. So that practice is very, very important. Any habit we want to develop in our life, just take a small step, bit by bit. You will see lots of change in life. Similarly, our thought process, our spiritual practices, anything we can improve. And this improvement will bring happiness. One more thing, I'll just conclude with that. Any activity in mode of passion, what is mentioned that it is, in the beginning, it looks sweet, but end is always miserable. Ignorance, anyway, that is always miserable. In the beginning and at the end, both miserable. Passion, mode of passion means initially it may look sweet or nectarian, but at the end it is miserable. And mode of goodness, any activity in mode of goodness, in the beginning it is bitter. It is not, we will not like to do that. We will not like to take that pain for that. But at the end, it is nectarian, it is sweeter. Yeah? And intelligent people, there are two categories, like one is prayas, one is shreyas. Prayas means the people who look immediate pleasure. They want immediate happiness. And they are looking for shortcuts. But shreyas means which is good in future. Which is no. So for us, learning is maybe practices or some areas we want to improve, but it's difficult, it's painful. But we should take the pain and we should know that. that is going to be very joyful experience in future. Once we develop that habit, it will become joyful. Fine. So
Is reading scriptures mode of goodness? Reading scriptures.
yeah, that is in mode of goodness. Knowledge, goodness means knowledge. They are knowledge seekers. They love reading, hearing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And chanting can be in any of the modes, or it's always in goodness.
Chanting, all these are transcendental activities.
Okay.
When you are doing devotional service, it is transcendental activities. Of course, devotion is transcendental, but right now, because we are not transcendental, our consciousness might be influenced with the three modes. Activity is transcendental. Like for example, somebody is chanting. Chanting is transcendental. But if I'm doing chanting, maybe for some sense gratification, no? for some material gain, that if I chant, then I will be glorified, or I will get lots of wealth, fame. These are all material desire. So I'm doing it in mode of passion. I'm doing chanting, transcendental activity, but in mode of passion. Or if I'm doing chanting because it satisfies me, nothing about Krishna, it satisfies me, that's why I'm doing. I feel happy, that's why I'm doing. Then it is in mode of goodness. Chanting in mode of goodness. But if I'm doing it for Krishna, because I know that I'm chanting Krishna's name for the pleasure of Krishna, then it becomes transcendental. Name is always transcendental, but my practice, whether it is in mode of goodness, passion, ignorance, or transcendental, like that. That's what we were discussing about. So many spiritual practices, even people doing out of ignorance, like doing bali, sacrificing animals, that is in mode of ignorance, mode of passion or ignorance, not knowing the purpose, simply doing this. Because it is a tradition in my family, that's why I'm doing it. So that's a mode of ignorance. So many practitioners, they do it. So all these things we can now, based on this knowledge, we can start contemplating, we can start observing which mode it is, right? And how we have to transcend from these modes. Transcendental means when we are following instructions from scripture or instructions from guru, then automatically we are transcendental. Sometimes we may think how to become transcendental. Right now we may not be transcendental, but if you simply start following the instructions of transcendental person, you're also transcendental. Like Prabhupada giving example, you may not be the Prime Minister, but if you are representing Prime Minister, the representative of the Prime Minister is having some power. So simply becoming representative of liberated people, we also become liberated by our act. Somebody asked, how to become pure devotee? Prabhupada. No, somebody asked to Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, how to become pure devotee? He said, simply follow a pure devotee. Follow a pure devotee, you will become pure. So right now, instead of doing so much of contemplation, you see many advanced people. Why Srila Prabhupada initial disciples, they become so advanced. They were engaged in so many degraded activities, sinful activities. But within few months, they became very advanced. And now they are preaching to the whole world. How come? They were not they started doing something big job. Simply, they developed faith in Prabhupada. They had faith, great faith in Prabhupada, and they started following. Whatever Prabhupada is saying, they started just following that. Surrendered. And they became so advanced. So this is the shortcut to become advanced in Krishna consciousness. Once you have developed faith in Bhagavad Gita, in a spiritual master, that whatever learning you are getting, it is going to help me. Mind will trick you. Mind will try to take you away from that. But keep your mind aside and just surrender. But this surrender is not blind surrender. Because over a period of time, when you are understanding this knowledge, when you are practicing this knowledge, you have some experience. And based on that experience, you are surrendering. Whatever we have learned as of now from Bhagavad Gita, do you see anything which is impractical, or do you see anything which is wrong? No, nothing is there. Maybe I could not explain that way, but I'm telling you, this teaching is to make us, this is for our perfection. Simply our mind, our previous habits or whatever, which is stopping us not to dedicate. Otherwise, the moment we surrender, we start practicing, we will experience something different. Something different. Thank you so much. We'll stop here. It's a nice discussion. So next chapter is going to be the 15th chapter. So wherein again in detail, Krishna is giving a detailed picture about the spiritual and material kingdom, material world. What this material world is about, we will understand in that chapter. And also some practical things we will learn. Hare Krishna.